Welcome to GDM Interviews. Get to know world-class individuals and how they began their journey as creatives and how they became successful at it. I got to interview one of the best photographers that I have ever worked with for GDM Mag. Let's get to know his story. Without further ado, welcome Kaio Cesar.
Hi, oh my God, thank you for having me. This is so fun.
Tell us a little bit about who you are, your background story.
So, oh my God, I hate describing myself, but basically, I'm a photographer and I am also, well, I like to think of myself as also an artist. So I use photography to create art, and that is my main thing. I love to do that, but I also do all types of photography, whatever I'm requested to do. But my main thing is to transform images. So my main thing is post production. I love photography. I love art. I love visuals. I love everything that has to do with visual arts. So that's something that I've always obsessed ever since I was a kid. So I think that kind of like made me become who I am today. And also a lot of my aesthetic and a lot of my work definitely reflects that. All of these obsessions that I had as a kid. I am Brazilian. I was born and raised in Brazil, and I moved to the US directly to Boston when I was 19, and now I'm 27. So I've been living in Boston. Well, I lived in Boston for 6 years, and then I've been living in Los Angeles now, California, for 1 year and a half now.
How did you discover your love for photography?
I don't think I've actually discovered it. It was kind of something that was put on my face by my partner. He was a person that definitely pushed me into creating images because taking pictures was something that I've always done, but I just never saw it as being a photographer. Like I used to take pictures of myself, of my friends, but most with my phone. And also on The Sims, I used to take pictures on The Sims too when I was younger. But I never saw it as being a photographer. Always more of like an artist that was using these images to create something. And after my partner, we were not even 1 year into our relationship, and I think he saw in me a need to create, a need to like express myself somehow. And before that, I was always trying to express myself through other things. Like actually, it was photography, but a bunch of other things. I feel like with writing, with playing, because I play the piano. So I was trying to express myself somehow, but I was not being successful in anything until he mentioned to me, I think you might be a photographer because you like to create these images, you like to do this. And I was like, yeah, it makes sense, but I don't think I'm there yet to call myself a photographer. I'm not there yet. And then I think it took like a full week. It took like a full week of me like heavily heavily thinking about it. I was thinking about it a lot, and then I realized I actually am going to pursue this, and I'm going to try to be a photographer and see where it takes me. So I started taking pictures with my phone of my friends in my room. That was 2020. And right after I bought a camera and everything kind of just like started, and I found out that I actually loved taking pictures.
Wow, that's amazing. And the fact that you kind of recently started
Yeah,
with,
it's pretty recent.
yeah, that's like kind of absurd. It's so good. And it just goes to show like when you're really meant for something, nothing can stop you. And it's I love how your partner pushed you into what you are now, because if it wasn't for him, who knows what you would be doing, you know?
Exactly. And I always tell him that if it wasn't for his initial push for me to pursue that, for me to actually get a professional camera and start doing these things, taking these images, I don't know what would have happened of me because I did not have anything else that I wanted to do with my life. I was struggling finding out what I wanted to do with my life, which is fine because I was what, 22, and I didn't have to figure anything out, but it was definitely a good push that made me realize that this is what I want to do and this is what I want to pursue as an adult. At least for now, I love that, and I'm just gonna keep on doing that.
Yeah, I love that so much. And I also wanted to take account like how it's so important to have people that believe in you, like in
Hmm.
your circle, because we can get it in our own way with thinking, oh, I like it, but it's like whatever. I don't really see myself going far with this, or I don't see myself being qualified enough to be in this position. But it just takes other people to tell you like who you are, who you truly are. Because sometimes we can't do that for ourselves. So I love that.
Yeah, a lot of people feel like they have to have the most expensive equipment to do stuff, or they have to know specific things to do specific things. But honestly, you don't really need much. Like I started with the phone. So you probably, everyone that wants to do photography, they probably already have a camera on their phone. So like I started with my phone and it was great, before for the time being. And the more you discover how to do things, the more you want to do with it. So that's why I bought the camera too. And yeah, it was always on a budget. Everything was very on a budget. Like everything. It took me a while to start making money out of photography. So, or for me to actually invest money in things, invest a lot of money in my equipment and and shoots. It took me a while, but I was definitely proud of everything that I did prior to that. So I don't think you need a bunch of things to make really incredible images. Really don't need that. You just need a creativity and
Yes,
people down to make it happen.
yes, I love that so much because a lot of people think they need all the equipment, all the
Yeah,
things.
no.
It just pushes you back even more because it's expensive, first of all.
It is. It is very expensive.
And just being a beginner, yes, while you work your way towards like buying good equipment and stuff, you still need to learn. You're still in the experimental phase. Still don't know what you're really doing.
Yeah,
So, like you said, all you need is your creativity, and I love that so much.
100%. And I feel like if I had the budget to just buy everything that I wanted back then, I don't think I would have learned as much as I did learn, because I was learning through the process of getting like, oh, I'm getting a better flash for my photography. Like I was learning how to use flash with those low budget stuff, with those low budget equipment, lights, whatever it is, and then working my way up to learn other things and how to use these things. Because if you have so much to you, I feel like it's very overwhelming if you have so much to you. Like I have money and I'm just gonna buy the most expensive camera, the most expensive equipment, items that I need. It's just gonna be so overwhelming, and I don't know. I don't feel like it would have not helped me, at least for me. So like starting from the very beginning of like just having a phone to where I am now, where I have a better camera, I have equipment, I have lighting. Um, that definitely taught me how to do photography the way that I know today.
I love that. I love that so much. It's all about the process
It
and the
is
pursuit.
100% about the process, and there's nothing is gonna make you just like be fine to be great if there's not a process. No money, nothing. There is a process.
What has been the hardest part in your journey, and how did you overcome it while being a photographer?
I feel like finding. I don't think I have overcome that yet, but I'm on my way. Like finding your voice, finding a style, and finding a way for people to identify your work even when they don't see your name. I've been working on that. I feel like I've passed through so many aesthetics because I tried to do a bunch of things and see what I liked. I feel like a lot of people link me to X aesthetic when I don't really do that anymore, or something that I did that doesn't really look like what I do now. I don't know, like I feel the thing that I have to overcome, and I feel like the thing that I have been overcoming and getting better at is to have an aesthetic that people can look at and identify me. Even if my name is not there, they will look at it and be like, "Oh, this is Caillou for sure." You know what I mean? That's I think I've done a pretty decent job so far, and that's what I'm most proud of in my photography is the way that I photograph, and other people will tell me, "Oh, I know you took this photo because it looks like your work."
Interesting, because my next question was how can one find their own individual style?
Honestly, since I'm a person that I don't think that I have found my style yet, but I have found a way to get to it. I just have to keep doing it. Just literally overwhelm yourself with references. Like every day you look at your have have somebody to look up to. Like I have the photographers that I look up to, and I look at their work and I really want to be like them, but I want to be my own version of what they do. So I have these two photographers that I'm obsessed with. They're both Brazilian, and I look up to their work so much. And I always try to do things that are similar, but not. I don't want to copy anybody's work, but like, oh, the way that you use the light here, on the right looks really cool. Like, let me try and see. Let me try and see if it looks cool with my photography too. And then you just use elements of other people's work that you like, and then it's just gonna become your thing because I don't feel like anyone can. I mean, a lot of people can copy and be really good at copying it, but I don't believe in a straight up copy kind of work. But I do believe that art is out there for us to get inspiration from it. I do not believe that you're going to be unique 100% ever because everything has been done. Like everything you can think of has been done already. The uniqueness of it is the elements that you bring to your image to create something that's unique to you. It is something for you that looks like what you do. So I look at these other photographers and I get this inspiration from looking at elements, like I separate the elements in the images. And I feel like anyone can do that. And you look at this photographer, for example, I love the way that he does lighting, right? So I like, oh, okay, I love the way that he does lighting here, but I also love the way that this other photographer does backgrounds. So how can I merge both of these worlds? Like, how can I do this lighting with this background, with this pose, and with this face? Like, and by doing that, like merging elements of a bunch of references that I see every day, I underwhelm myself sometimes with so much references just so I can be the best version of myself as an artist. By doing that every day, I feel like I have found my style. Um, but I do feel like I have to work a lot on it for it to be exactly how I want it to be.
Yeah, totally. I love that answer so much about just overwhelming yourself with
Yeah.
inspiration because I feel like when you constantly look at people that inspire you or just like anything, just constantly looking for inspiration, that's where you get ideas. That's where, like you said, you can take those things and put it in your own way and truly
Hmm.
feel your style by experimenting about going through the process and just learning who you are also. I feel like finding your own styles, knowing who you are too, because art can portray your feelings and your feelings, like who you are and all those things. So that was really amazing. I learned so much just from that. So thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Yeah, of course. So what has been the most exciting project that you've taken this thus far?
I have had actually a few exciting projects that I have done. I can't really like pinpoint the one that I'm like, oh my God, I love this so much. I feel like I love eras of my work because some of the pictures will look similar, but I have a series of images that I make that are super inspired by medieval stuff, and it's very inspired by Narnia too because I was a Narnia kid. So this specific project that I have, which is super simple, like I feel like people look at it and think that it's there's so much going behind it, but there's literally not. It's usually just me and two more people and the model. I don't like to overwhelm myself with so much people working on these projects with me because it's for me. I make it very much for me. So I don't really love having so much feedback on them. I like for it to be 100% mine from my mind. So this project that I have is definitely the thing that I have that I'm most proud of for sure. I have most of the images on my Instagram already, and I have a few other people, really exciting people that I'm going to photograph for it this summer. And I think I'm just gonna finish it because there's only so much that you can do with it, and I have already done the most exciting thing with it, which was shooting the main characters from Narnia for it, which was really really fun. So I don't think there's really much that I can do with it now that I've already like done what I wanted, which was to actually photograph somebody from a direct inspiration from that series. Um, so I might just like do a few more, like maybe three, and then just finish it because to me it's amazing.
Amazing. Like I'm obsessed with those photographs. Like it's just I feel like it just brings you into a whole new world. And
Yes.
like, whoa, what's going on here? Like it's so different. Never seen anything like that. And I that's what I really appreciate about you is that you're just so different. You don't do things that the average photographer does. You create a story and you make that story come to life. And it's just
Mm, thank
so
you. It means a lot to me. It's the thing that I wanted to do the most when I started photographing. It was like I look at others people photography and I don't find it so exciting. Like how can I make my work be exciting for me? And coming from the thought that I never wanted to be a photographer because photography is not really the most exciting part of what I do for me. Not being in a studio shooting is not really the most exciting thing for me. The most exciting thing for me is to create these images afterwards, like bringing these images to my computer and then creating things out of those images. That's my favorite part of it all. And that's what I think that makes me different from other photographers. But there are a lot of other photographers that do what I do, and they do it in a way that is so unique to them. And yeah, I that's just my little way to make my work more unique and more me.
yes, I totally definitely agree. I feel like in that aspect of just in the beginning you didn't want to be a photographer, I can relate to that so much. Because I didn't want to be in fashion. I was interested in fashion. I loved aspects of it, but never seen myself being in it. And now that we're both in what we love to do, I can definitely say it's more of the creating process that's most exciting. It's like, ooh, what can I create out of this? Like
Yeah.
turning nothing into something. So I have one last question, and it's a bonus question. I like to do these to just like spice up the interview. And
Mm,
maybe you've answered this. I don't know. Let's see. What fictional world or place would you like to visit?
Narnia. Probably Narnia. I love Narnia. I'm a Narnia kid. I read all of the books. I've seen the movies, the Disney movies several times, and I am so excited for Netflix Narnia. It's very simple. Like Narnia is supposed to be, it's not as like complex as, I don't know, Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter. It's not as complex, but I find the simplicity, the simplicity of it so beautiful. And growing up Christian, I knew everything about the Bible. So like seeing the Bible in that way because Narnia is 100% influenced by the Bible. Like the first Disney movie, it's all about you can rewatch it and you will see like Aslan being Jesus and blah blah. So it is an allegory for the Bible for sure. There's a bunch of allegories, biblical allegories in Narnia, and seeing the Bible that way to me was cool. It was an exciting way for me to see the Bible. So to me today, seeing it as like a fiction, it's even more cool. So I love Narnia because of that, and my attachment to it ever since I was a kid just makes it more fun. I get why people don't like it.
I love Narnia. I don't know. I never heard anybody that didn't like it, but they don't like it.
Yeah.
Might be understanding. Well, I didn't know that it came from the Bible. I definitely have to read it. Oh wow, that's so interesting.
You'll see the references. The references are all there, which is fun. I feel like it's fun when people take biblical references to create art today, because I don't know, I feel like a lot of people are, especially people like me I grew up in a church, I grew up Christian, and even though I don't have the same, I mean, I still have a faith, but not the same in the same way. It's fun for me to look at it differently, because if it was not like that, to me it was just going to be like a hate element of my life. So it's cool looking at it in that perspective.
Well, Kaio, it was so amazing. I had so much fun
It was so
talking.
fun. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. I'm so blessed and honored that I got to meet you before you left. So, yes, I hope you have a great, fabulous rest of your day. And
Thank you.
we'll talk soon.
Talk soon. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was really fun.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in. If you would like to be a part of the GDM community, make sure you subscribe to stay tuned for more episodes.